This is the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 2025 full show results video which takes place at Esports Stadium Arlington in Arlington, Texas. The show started with a match between Blake Christian versus Jay Lethal. We see Christian jammed his knee on a flip. Lethal gained control, but Lee Johnson caused a distraction in the corner. In the end, Christian capitalized for a superplex and rolled through for the Mutilock submission, then Lethal tapped out, and Blake Christian won the match by submission. The next match happened between Dark Order versus Frat House. We see Dark Order hit the Teamwork Windmill Slam, but Jameson pulled the referee out on the pin. Jameson was ejected, then Vance used that distraction to hit Uno with the wooden paddle. That's when -1 made a surprise appearance. Dark Order regrouped with support from Brody Jr. to run a suplex train on Vance, then Uno cleaned Vance's clock with a discus lariat to get the victory for Dark Order by pinfall. Then we see Taya Valkyrie and Johnny TV insulted the smelly crowd to introduce the return of MXM Collection from Japan. Mansoor and Mason Madden catwalked the King's Road, and they are now the most legendary of legends, and MXM introduced a new perfume called Seed. The next match happened between Diamante versus Lady Frost, and the result of this match was Diamante defeated Lady Frost by pinfall with a twisting neckbreaker. The next match happened between Von Erichs versus Premier Athletes. We see Mark Sterling distracted the referee, so Ari Divery could land a flying carpet ride. The Von Erichs rallied for a pop-up spinebuster on Tony Nese. Ross Von Erich grabbed the claw on Sterling's head, and Marshall Von Erich connected on a moonsault to pin Nese, and won the match by pinfall. The next match happened between Hetchesero versus Michaelo. The Alchemist of the Ring worked his lathe style to pick apart the high flyer. Oku rallied with slick dives, such as a jackknife splash. Hetchesero countered a springboard moonsault to catch Oku's arm to crank a shoulder lock. Oku stacked tall to escape and counter for a half-crab submission. The luchador reached the ropes for the break, then Rocky Romero tried to call a timeout, but Amira Blair was having none of that. All that commotion on the outside allowed Hetchesero to slingshot into the ring for a crazy ankle lock. Despite the escape, Hetchesero maintained momentum to finish strong with a leg scissors DDT, and defeated Michaelo by pinfall. Then we saw a $50,000 four-way match between AR Fox versus Atlantis Jr. versus Lee Johnson versus Adam Priest, and the result of this match was AR Fox won the match by pinfall after hitting slingshot flipping piledriver on Adam Priest. The next match happened between Lee Moriarty versus Blue Panther for the ROH Pure Championship. We see Panther surprised Moriarty early with an armbar, and the champ used his first rope break. Moriarty evened the score with a submission to make Panther grab the ropes 5 minutes into the contest. Moriarty manipulated a headlock to block the referee from seeing a closed fist punch, which is illegal in Pure rules. Panther rallied for a flying crossbody and transitioned to a figure 4, then Moriarty used his second rope break. A few minutes later, Moriarty trapped Panther in a wrist lock for his second rope break, then Moriarty picked up steam for a pair of suicide dives. Panther used his third and final rope break, and Moriarty gained confidence to get cocky with striking. Panther fired up for clotheslines and a cannonball outside, then Panther went up top, but Moriarty was quicker for a superplex. Panther kicked out on the cover, then Moriarty snatched an ankle lock, then Panther dramatically crawled under the ropes. With no more breaks, Moriarty transitioned to the Border City stretch through the ropes, and the legendary luchador tapped out, and Lee Moriarty won the match by submission to retain the ROH Pure Championship. The next match happened between Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus Sean Dean and Carly Bravo for the ROH World Tag Team Championship. The infantry made the fight ugly on the outside to take control, and they isolated Sammy to set up the hot tag for Dustin, who hit a crossroads on Dean. Trish Adora distracted the referee, and Shane Taylor hit Dustin with the title belt. Dustin was bloody. Dean made a slow cover, and Sammy barely made the save, then Dustin rallied for a destroyer on Dean. Sammy went wild for a springboard moonsault onto Taylor outside and a springboard cutter to Bravo inside. A super kick to Dean sent him into the final reckoning from Dustin, and Sammy closed with a swanton to get the victory for his team. Afterward, STP stomped the champs, then Anthony Ogogo made his return, but the Von Erichs made the save with chairs. Dustin had enough of STP and challenged them to an 8-man tag at the All-In pre-show, and Tony Khan made that match official. The next match happened between Nick Wayne versus Titan for the ROH World Television Championship. Wayne controlled the pace for a slower style to break down his opponent, and that worked for the explosive sequences to pop in contrast. Titan connected on a flying double stomp. On the pin, Mama Wayne placed her son's foot on the ropes for the break. Referee Rick Knox caught her in the act for an ejection, then Nick cried out for his mother as the crowd chanted that "Na na na, goodbye" song. Titan surged for a bridging straightjacket Mutalock, then Wayne reached the ropes for a dramatic break. On the finish, Wayne faked an injury and that allowed Kip Sabian to run in and shove Titan off the turnbuckles. Wayne connected on a springboard cutter out of the corner, then after a couple of near falls, Wayne closed with the Prodigy Plex to retain the title. Post-match, Christian Cage came to the ring to hug his son. Then we saw a backstage interview of Red Velvet and she expresses her disappointment that she can't defend her title tonight at ROH Supercard of Honor. Velvet then says she'll be watching the four-way for the interim championship at ringside and that match is next. The next match happened between Mina Shurikawa versus Miyu Yamashita versus Yuka Sakazaki versus Pphanie for the interim ROH Women's World Television Championship. The match starts off with three women exchanging codes of honor, but Pphanie is having none of it. Sakazaki then sends Yamashita out of the ring, which brings Pphanie back into it. Pphanie then uses her size advantage to send Shurikawa into the corner as Sakazaki returns. As the four battle on the outside, Pphanie takes down Shurikawa and Yamashita. That then allows Sakazaki to hit her with a head scissors and drag Yamashita into the ring for a pin attempt. Sakazaki and Yamashita then battle in the ring, trading kicks and holds until they are both knocked to the mat. Shurikawa then climbs back in to try and steal a pin, but it was all 2 counts around. Sakazaki and Yamashita then double team her until Shurikawa hits a knee breaker and a DDT at the same time. Shurikawa then climbs up top and hits another sling blade from the top rope and only gets a 2 count. Pphanie then begins punching Shurikawa, leaving herself open for Yamashita to kick her in the face. Yamashita and Pphanie then fights, bringing some strong style to the match, then Yamashita hits her with kicks and strikes before slamming her, but Shurikawa breaks up the cover. Sakazaki then hits a hammerlock slam on Yamashita and Shurikawa locks in a figure 4 on Yamashita. Sakazaki then hits a magic girl splash on Yamashita, breaking up the hold, but then gets caught by Pphanie on the ring apron. In the ring, Shurikawa hits a dragon screw on Yamashita and a bridged figure 4 and Yamashita taps out, and Mina Shurikawa become the interim ROH Women's World Television Champion. After the match, Shurikawa and Red Velvet have a face-off. The next match happened between Athena versus Thunder Rosa for the ROH Women's World Championship. Athena targeted the lower back, while Thunder did serious damage to Athena's shoulder. Athena had enough and retreated upstage and Billy Starks tried to attack Thunder, but she ate a spear for her troubles. Thunder went after Athena, however, the Forever Champ chokeslammed the challenger off the stage through a table. Athena then goes to the top rope for a no-face, but Rosa catches her there and they battle on the ring post until Rosa locks in a triangle choke. The referee then breaks it up, but the damage to Athena's arm is done, but not done enough that she couldn't powerbomb Rosa off the top. Athena then locks in a side surfboard, putting all the pressure on Rosa's back, then Rosa tries to get out of it but is forced to tap out, and Athena won the match by submission, and retains the ROH Women's Championship. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Bandido versus Kanosuke Takashida for the ROH World Championship. We see Takashida grabbed Bandido and hit a German supples followed by a Blue Thunder Bomb, which got him a 2 count, as Blue Thunder Bombs tend to do. Bandido hit a Poison Rana on Takashida, sending him to the outside and diving after him, then Bandido went up top for a frog splash, but only got a 2 count. Bandido sent him to the ropes again and hit a perfect 21 plex, but Takashida kicked out a 2. In the end, Bandido went for another 21 plex, but Takashida caught him in a wheelbarrow suplex followed by a knee to the skull, but Bandido kicked out a 2. Takashida picked up Bandido for a high slam, but Bandido quickly reversed it into a pinning combination, and won the match, and retains the ROH World Championship. After the match, Hetchesero makes his way down to the ring to pay respects and make it known that he is Bandido's next challenger. Both men then stare each other down and the show comes to a close. How much you would rate ROH Supercard of Honor 2025 show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.